Well, the impact of last week's attack on the Capitol building in Washington continues to shake the US. President Trump has now approved a state of emergency to run until Joe Biden's been inaugurated as president next week. And the FBI is warning of further possible violence and armed protests by pro-Trump and right-wing groups as security in all state capitals is stepped up. The Democratic Party is also pursuing its twin-track efforts to punish Mr. Trump, either through his removal from office by the Vice President Mike Pence or by seeking to impeach him. Our North America correspondent Peter Bowes has this.
Washington, 8 days before Joe Biden is due to be sworn in as the next president. Unprecedented security around the Capitol building where the National Guard is on patrol. From tomorrow, parts of the city will be under lockdown, and President Trump has approved a state of emergency lasting until the end of next week. Inside the Capitol, more political high drama. The Democrats don't want to wait to see the back of Mr. Trump. They want him out now.
Resolution calling on Vice President Michael R. Pence to...
It's a long shot, but they're hoping the Vice President and a majority of the cabinet will agree to invoke the 25th Amendment, declaring Mr. Trump unfit to continue in office. He will be removed immediately. If that doesn't happen, the Democrats will move forward with articles of impeachment, accusing the president of incitement of insurrection, that he gravely endangered the security of the United States. Around the country, feelings are running high.
You know, if one of us was inciting a riot, we would get thrown in jail. So I think that somebody just because you're the president doesn't mean you are exempt from the law. And I think that he should be held accountable.
Hurry up and impeach him. But we're only hoping that he will never run for anything ever again.
Except from the police. Yes.
So lock him up.
While Washington debates the president's immediate future, Mr. Trump is planning to head to Texas to see part of the border wall that he promised to build. In the meantime, there's more backlash against the storming of the Capitol last week. The most famous coach in American football, Bill Belichick, says he won't accept Donald Trump's offer of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. For his part, Joe Biden has been focusing on the coronavirus, receiving his second dose of the vaccine. He was pressed by reporters on whether he was concerned about the open-air inauguration ceremony next week.
I'm not afraid of taking the oath outside, and we've been getting briefed, but I think it's critically important that there be a real serious focus on holding those folks who engaged in sedition and threatened people's lives, defaced public property, caused great damage, that they be held accountable.
The head of the National Guard has said up to 15,000 troops could be deployed in Washington for Mr. Biden's inauguration, while the FBI has warned that armed protests could take place in the capital cities of every state in the country over the next week. Peter Bowes, BBC News, Los Angeles.
Well, Max Kuttner is a reporter at the news service Law 360, and he explained what the Democrats are trying to achieve.
I think they certainly expect real consequences. Looked at one way, this could be a serious matter. It could be looked at as them saying that a president is accountable for his actions or her actions, whether or not he or she has a week or two left in office. They're still accountable. On the other hand, it is an opportunity, especially for those House Democrats, to issue one parting blow towards Trump, kind of a don't let the door hit you on the way out kind of thing. So they are serious. They're working with warp speed, especially compared to what we saw with impeachment a little bit more than a year ago, with the 25th Amendment measure scheduled for tomorrow night. And if that doesn't go through, impeachment vote scheduled for Wednesday.